You've heard about it. Bud Light sales sinking, and an executive who worked for the brand says time is running out to turn things around. You may have heard the beer brand is facing boycotts following a collaboration with transgender influencer and actor Dylan Mulvaney. Since then, it's been really, really bad. Let's bring in Anson Frericks, co-founder and president of Strive Asset Management, and previously Anheuser-Busch's president of sales and distribution. You say Anheuser-Busch has only months to turn this loss around. How?
They really need to make a decision quickly about how they're going to get these customers back, because the beer industry is different than a lot of other brands that sell exclusively online. The beer industry is still 80+% of all beer sold is sold at retailers like Kroger, like Walmart, like 7-Eleven. And a lot of these retailers, they're in the business of making money, and they respond to consumer demand. They usually put the beer on the shelf in relation to what's called a space to sales ratio. For example, if you have 10 doors in your beer cooler at your local Kroger, 7-Eleven, and Bud Light is 20% of those sales, they would get 2 out of those 10 doors. The problem is when consumer demand shifts, they will reallocate that space. And that space is really important because that shows how much backstock is there, how much inventory is available, and how much consumers can actually purchase. Those resets are typically done in the spring and in the fall, and it's all based off sales data. So the spring resets happen right before this controversy, kind of in the March timeframe, but then these retailers are going to look at data from April, May, June, July, and then reset those shelves going into September. And if Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light don't turn these sales around, they're going to permanently lose a door or two of space based off some of the sales declines up to 30, 40, and 50% at some retailers that we're currently seeing.
But what do they need to do? I mean, without looking like they're begging or pandering to customers, how can they come off authentically and actually rise?
You're right, because what they don't need to do is just kind of discount the beer and do something that's short term. I think in the latest sales week, you saw there was maybe a slight improvement. They improved maybe like from down 29% to down 28% due to some deep discounting beer. What they need to do is get their customers back and be authentic about who Bud Light as a brand is. Bud Light was always a brand that was loved by all Americans because it was about sports. It was about music. It was about backyard barbecues. It's about big displays going into July 4th, looking at sort of American flag displays. And what they need to do is come back and say, you know what, at Bud Light, we screwed up. We got involved in a political controversy when Bud Light was never a political brand. This was a brand that was enjoyed equally by Democrats and Republicans, by all Americans, because it talked about things that brought us all together, not necessarily got involved in political controversies that divided us. They just come out, be authentic, say they screwed up, and say, hey, going forward, we're going to go back to, I think, sort of the Americana branding that all Americans enjoyed. I think they can get a lot of those consumers back.
But like Bud Light, there are a lot of corporations that are involved politically with organizations, but it's just not as known. It's not advertised. You know, Target, for example, facing backlash for decisions. They've been working with a group called Glisten for a decade. Those shoppers didn't really know much about it. They foster LGBTQ plus curriculum for children ages K through 12. That's something that would probably be banned in Florida, but used across schools every day. What do corporations need to do now that they see the American public, or at least a large part of the American public, wants to know what a company stands for in terms of their opinions, in terms of perceptions, and their policies?
It's a great question. And once again, it all comes back to authenticity and what is the mission of that organization. Target has a very different mission than what Bud Light does. Target's mission is to help all families discover the joy of everyday life. So that's certain families at Christmas time, those are Christian families, and during Pride Month, that's Pride families as well. So I think what Target is doing is being authentic to that mission. They are doing Pride. I think when it comes down to for a company like Target, it's a business decision. How much do they want to merchandise? How much do they want to put up certain displays? Is that good for business or not? That's a very different, distinct mission than Bud Light, which was supposed to be easy to drink, easy to enjoy. It doesn't necessarily have something that has sort of a tint to it. It's supposed to be for all folks, all people. And that's the difference that I would say is you've got to be authentic to your brand, authentic to what you've historically represented. If Target has historically been all things to all families, then they should continue to represent all families in some way, shape, or form.
But Anson,
that's not, think about
it's not happening, though. There's some disingenuousness or something. It's not resonating. Why in the world would their stock slip so much? Why in the world were their sales slipping so much? What happened over the past number of years? Was it appeasing certain stakeholders or shareholders? Was it because of COVID that everybody's stressed out and wanting to do something big and bold? I mean, why this major shift in marketing strategy, and why is it not resonating?
Yeah, so the major shift in marketing strategy, great point. is being driven by this adoption of what's called stakeholder capitalism. And this is something that's being pushed by the likes of BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. Three large organizations that control $20 trillion worth of capital are the single largest shareholder, 95% of the largest companies in the U.S. Companies like Target, like Disney, like Nike.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.